Have you ever felt like you're driving with the brakes on? You know, one foot pedal to the metal and the other foot on the brake, and you're just kind of lurching around the track, stopping and starting, not really being able to find yourself. And maybe you have roared off the starting line, but then you stall. And when you go back to pits, you have to have a major overhaul. What I've discovered is that you can't find your passion and your path until you find yourself. And thanks to a really incredible coach, I finally found me. I did a lot of exciting things. I was successful, made money, did driving, flying, riding horses, all of those things. But somehow I never felt truly happy and truly satisfied. Do you know what that feels like? Yeah. But when I did find me, then miracles upon miracles happened. And the next thing that I discovered is that I found my path. And now I'm dedicated to sharing what I've learned with every one of you so that you can do it in a lot less time than I did. And I've been able to put these together into a very simple 5-key formula called DRIVE, D-R-I-V-E. Now the third key is inspiration. Inspire yourself. And you're saying, what we have today in this world is an inspiration deficit disorder. And one of the ways that we can begin to change that is when we wake up in the morning, start appreciating. Appreciate your bed, your pillow, the fact that you have electricity on the wall, water coming out of your tap that's either hot water or cold water, and it's even safe to drink most of the time. And then there's another way to inspire yourself, and that is to give. And we say give whatever you want most to receive. The philosophy of this organization is to give first, share always. And sometimes it's a little frustrating, perhaps, because you don't always have a business referral to give. So what can you give in that circumstance? You always have a smile. You always have a kind word. You always have encouragement or support that you can give. If you want more money in your life, give money. And in my coaching and seminars, we show you how to give away $1 a day and double the money flow in your life in 30 to 60 days. The V in DRIVE is for visualize, and this is key number 4 that I've uncovered. The visualizing has become very popular in the last dozen years or so, and actually we've gotten a little bit stressed out about it. We think, oh, I have to get this picture, and I've really got to get it right, and then I've got to feel it, and then I've got to think about it, and then I've got to say it over and over and over again. Be gentle with yourself. But we want to take inspired action rather than forcing ourselves to action. Inspired action is when you get that nudge or that urge, and the universe loves speed. That means that when an idea comes to you, it goes out to a lot of different people at the same time. And those who act on it first are going to get the benefit. So when you get those nudges and those urges, immediately take a step. This will truly accelerate you into driving to a winning life. It occurred to me that I have known these principles all of my life. And what I've just told you are a lot of pretty words, unless you have something to go along with it. When I was a child, I knew a man who got involved in a very serious automobile accident. He was thrown out of his car as his car rolled over and over, and he hit the ground and crushed most of the bones in his upper body. His shoulder bone pierced the subclavian artery and dumped 1.5 quarts of blood into his chest. He went to the hospital, of course, was in critical condition, and the surgeons wanted to operate right away. But the man had a heart condition that he'd had all of his life, and he didn't think he would survive. So he refused the operation, and he refused for a second day, and on the third day, the doctors were very insistent. And he felt that his only course of action to save his life, the way he believed he would save his life, was to have his family sign him out of the hospital against medical advice. He went home and he began to direct his mind. He said, I will be well. I am well. He focused on wellness. He did not dwell on the pain and the suffering. I am well. And then he released resistance because, you see, his car had been hit by a drunk driver. A man who got a $25 fine and 30 days license suspension. But instead of hating that man and resenting and saying how unfair it is that this happened to me, instead, he released the resistance. He forgave. He said, I love you. I forgive you. And as he was saying that, he was also saying, I forgive myself because I'm 100% responsible for everything that happens to me. I forgive myself for bringing this experience to myself. Then he inspired himself. He read great books by Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela. And then he engaged. He visualized his body being whole and well again and being able to throw a ball, even though the surgeon said he would never use that arm again fully. The action that inspiration brought to him was get up, get out of your bed. He took a walk. He began to fix his own meals. He began one day to sit down at the piano and play, and that became physical therapy for him that did heal this shoulder. So that within a year, a mere year, he was once again throwing a softball to the kids, and he was swimming and fully using his arms, and he was whole and well again. Not only did this gentleman heal himself, but he transformed his life. He found himself through this situation. And in that, he not only doubled but tripled and accelerated the prosperity in his life, but he also found his true happiness and his calling. And I grew up with this story, and I know it so well because that man was my father. And I want to share with you as we close the most inspirational poem that he learned from Nelson Mandela, who quoted it every single day in prison, and that my father also said every single day to give himself strength. You probably know it. It's called Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, dark as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody yet unbowed. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. You are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. Drive to a winning life.